What's good, everybody? As always, it's your boy Black Hippie. As always, my videos are for educational purposes anyway. So, always do your own facts and research on anything that I say on this page or any of my platforms. Let's bring this a little closer. This is live. You know what I mean? I'm not doing no edits. This is me talking to you in my current situation. So, I kind of wanted to come to you guys today and kind of talk to you about, for one, fatherhood and masculinity and what those two things mean. So as some of you may know that I am a recent father. My daughter is 6 months now. So, it's a beautiful thing to, see your child growing and developing into this person, into this being, into this ray of light. You know what I'm saying? Because there's greatness within your children. But I think in a lot of ways, from my experience as a child into adulthood, there's just some things that are just not accurate as to what a man should be or what's a man's place in a household, in a relationship, as a parent, as a male parent, to a female child and to a male child, because those are two different characteristics that you have to take on with dealing with children. But I just want to say a few things and not too much. But from my experience growing up as a child, I've always seen my father do his best. Even when him and my moms weren't on good terms, he always tried to do his best. He was a hard-working man. He would always go to work. He would do his best to provide for us. Even when he wasn't in the household, he did his best to provide for us. And as I got older, there were a lot of things that I thought I was supposed to get from my father, or from a male aspect of what a man should be. And because I'm being very transparent with you guys, and because he wasn't there on an everyday basis, there were a lot of things that I resented him for as a child, because he wasn't there. But not because he didn't want to be there, but because he was making a life for himself. He was trying his best to provide for us. He was putting in as much time as he could with, having us and, us spending time with him. So, just different things came about that I didn't understand at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things I just felt like, he missed out on, or he could have been there for. But when you really think about it, in the time that we live in, or the society in which that we live in, it's difficult for a man to really be a father in a lot of aspects if he's not a stay-home father. If he's working, he's out doing a lot. He's missing a lot at the same time also, but his main priority is to provide and protect his children or his household. And now, as an adult, and for one, as a man with a child now, I really got to give thanks to him. You know what I'm saying? And I think in a lot of aspects, we don't give thanks to the fathers who are in their child's lives, the fathers who are trying, the fathers who are getting up every day and going to work 8, 9, 12 hours a day, trying to provide for their children. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a deep, you know what I mean, a deep thing to do every day, and to miss out on the small little details of your children growing. You know, hearing your child say their first words, seeing them walk, seeing them come over, you know, walk over hurdles and, you know, things that you don't get to see, you know, on a regular basis because you're out the house being a provider. And it sucks how the world treats the father. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the father can do 1,000,001 things for his household, and yet and still he's only valued by what he presents, or what he's able to do, or what he's able to give, or what he's able to provide. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy to me that that's how we look at the role of father figures or men in general. But my topic is fathers. And it just blows my mind at this point as a man with a child. It's like, I'm thankful to have someone who I'm with who's supportive. You know what I mean? We have our ups and downs, as any relationship has their arguments, their fights, their disagreements. But at the end of the day, our goal and our understanding is our child. And like I said, for fathers, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Fathers don't get to complain. Fathers don't get to, you know, really show their emotions and still be considered the head of the house. You know what I mean? We gotta hold all that shit in. We gotta keep it to ourselves, or we gotta push through it, or make a way instead of getting the help that we seek. You know what I mean? And that's tough on a person's mental psyche every day. You know what I mean? Like, there are things I know that many men are going through, but they don't say anything about it. Because I'm going through that shit now, and in some aspects you just don't say nothing. You just say, well, it is what it is. I'll figure it out. And when you really think about it is what it is, I'll figure it out, that's like putting yourself to the side and not dealing with how you feel, or dealing with your emotions in the situation. It's just you saying, well, no one really understands or really wants to hear what the fuck I got to say, so I'll just put it to the side or put it to the back until I can figure it out myself. That shit is crazy. That'll drive you insane. And I can understand, because that then can accumulate into something else. This is why men have anger. This is why men are more hired, have higher suicidal rates. It's why men are more likely to have divorces, or why men are more likely to cheat, is because our outlets to voice our opinions is very limited without being judged or being put in a box. Now, you may agree and you may disagree. That's your own goddamn opinion. I really put it in the comments, okay? I might get to it. But, you know, I say this to say that any man that is dealing with raising a family, raising a home, working on top of that, trying to preserve himself, to cater to himself, and try to find time and a moment for himself isn't easy, because truly no man wants to argue and bicker over simple things when we got so much of the world going on in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you don't want that energy. You don't want to spend your time arguing over things. And in a lot of instances, we just keep that inside because you just don't want to deal with that. And from experience, I say this to say that, you know, you I hate to say you just got to push through it. You somewhat do, but at the same time, if you are in a real relationship and your spouse is truly the person you want to be with and build a family with, like, have that conversation with them. Like, we air everything out and continue to just make do. It is what it is. I'll figure it out. And that's the worst thing to do in a relationship. You know what I mean? In raising your family, because those things turn into anger, neglect, carelessness. You know what I mean? You start to feel a type of way. You start questioning things when you could have just had a conversation with the person you're dealing with for a second. You know what I mean? Even if you don't tell them full details, but to get, that emotion out. You know what I mean? You're not telling the whole world. You're speaking to someone in your household. You're speaking to your wife. You're speaking to your other part. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're supposed to do. And I think we don't teach or talk about this too much in our culture. You know what I mean? We're always taught that men is supposed to be men. Suck it up. Deal with it. Move on. But we don't talk about how we should have the conversation with our significant other and say, well, this is how I'm feeling today, or this is the mood I'm in today. Instead, we suck it up, and then we're pissed off at our significant other, or our children are getting on our nerves, or we're being neglectful or mean and angry to everyone else because we're not having a conversation about how we feel. And like I said, you ain't got to talk about everything. But the things that count, the things that matter, can be fixed. You know what I mean? Just by simple conversation. We always talk about communication is key, but yet we're not talking to each other. Yeah, we can talk about the bills, money, you know what I mean, what the kids are doing, what the kids need, things of that nature. But what are we talking about that's helping us to stay strong? To be more happy together, to build a foundation that our children can follow and grow from, instead of just going off of what the world seems to show us on TV as to how we're supposed to deal with each other in our own households. And this is why I don't really watch TV too much, because it's just so much of the wrong shit. And people live it like it's reality. It's a fantasy. It's a fallacy. It's not meant to be brought into your home. But a lot of the shit we see on TV is brought into our home. Excuse me for my language, but I'm just being honest. But, if you guys feel what I'm feeling, you know what I mean, please let me know your views. I'm one for keeping people's information private. You know what I mean? If you want to have a conversation because you can't, say that to someone else, please, by all means, hit me up. But, I'm not here to take on anyone else's burdens. I'm more than willing to listen to you guys. But at the end of the day, we got to start building us. And we got to start investing in unity. You know what I mean? There's not enough unity going on in our community, and that's the key to change. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, it's your boy Black Hippie. Peace to the gods of the universe. Stay safe.